Hello and welcome to Case Closed. I'm Charlie Ludington, your host. We'll soon go inside an actual courtroom in the Warren District Court to see a real small claims case in action. Under Michigan law, small claims cases may be brought by individuals seeking $3,000 in damages or less. Neither side may be represented by an attorney in small claims court, and the judge's decision is final. Now, let's hear the case. Is blood thicker than money?
District Court is in session. Judge Schmer presiding. Please remove your hats and shut off your cell phones.
Ms. Grabowski, this is your case. What are you asking for?
I'm owed hours of pay by Rita Grimes. Unfortunately, on August 14th, she was injured in an auto accident. She was in a wheelchair. Both her legs were injured. This did happen on my birthday, and I also lost my grandmother.
Wait, on your birthday?
On my birthday, correct, to a drunk driver.
So you were in an auto accident.
Pardon me?
You were in the accident, right?
No, Rita Grimes was
Rita
in the accident.
was. Okay.
My grandmother and her husband.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I was called by Rita Grimes on September 14th at approximately 7:15 a.m. She was sobbing that she needed a shower, and home care company was there and they left.
Okay.
She said she would pay me. I said, okay. Within 15 minutes, I left my home to go help her.
Okay.
I filled in that week off and on. I think the next day I did not work, and then the following day I did, and I continued to work. She hired me to take care of her in her home for home care.
Okay.
I was told I was going to be paid $20 an hour. She also discovered that the home care company she had there had stolen from her, so she fired them. And then I became the only one there to help her in the mornings. Get her in and out of the shower, making her breakfast.
Now, you have a company that does this?
No.
You just do this?
I'm her niece, so.
Okay, so
And
you wanted to help out your aunt.
Right, and I
And you're going to charge her $20 an hour?
No, she offered to pay me $20.
She offered to pay you $20
Correct,
an hour
because that's
for you
what
to
she
help
said
her.
that the home care company was getting to help her.
Okay.
So she said she would pay me $20 an hour to do this.
And this was starting in September 14th
Correct,
of
that
last
was the
year.
first day I showed up there.
Okay, did you have any agreement with her as to how many hours you were going to work, or what specifically were you going to do?
Specifically, I was there to go in the morning to help her in and out of the shower because she was in a wheelchair.
Every day, or what?
Yes, every day.
For how long?
As long as she needed me, and I
Okay.
was keeping track of my hours.
Okay, so you're going to help her go in and out of the shower?
In and out of the shower, make her breakfast, take her shopping, take her to the bank, take her to doctor's appointments, cook her breakfast, do some vacuuming, throw some laundry, whatever she needed to do, because she was in a wheelchair with both legs. She couldn't do it.
Now, were you going to do this 7 days a week?
Yes, I was, for a little while, and then there's times where she would call me, tell me she did not need me that morning.
Don't you have another job, though? How could
I
you
have
do
2 other jobs.
How did you work those other jobs and do this? I don't...
Well, because my other job usually started at 9 in the morning.
Right.
I drove for Vilatel Buick as a
Right.
driver. I still do that. And then I worked nights as a waitress, which I still do also. And I
So-
have 2 children.
So how were you going to work at Vilatel and help her?
Because I usually was at, Vilatel was an on-call type job. They called me. I didn't work every day. It's when they had a job for me. So they would call me like the night before or the morning of, and I would tell them what time I could start
All
at
right.
Vilatel.
Okay, so anyway, you were going to help your aunt.
Correct.
Basically take care of her. Go ahead.
Okay. I also told her at that point when she wanted me to come every day that I was not licensed. I do not have a license for any type of home care or anything. She said, that's okay. It's up to her to choose who to bring into her home to help her.
Okay.
The insurance
all right.
company was supposed to give her a check, and then she was supposed to disperse the money
Okay.
for the home care help at
Okay.
that point. I told her I was keeping track of my hours, and she said good, because with everything going on, she didn't have time to do it. Okay, so I started, every day I went to there, I wrote down on I use this calendar every day for everything I do.
Okay.
I started in September, when I arrived at her house and when I left her house. This did not include any drive time, any gas. She wasn't paying me gas, nothing. Okay?
So this was just the hours that you spent at her house or
Right.
taking her
The minute I walked in
somewhere?
her door to the minute I left her door.
Okay.
And I didn't live, she lived at Mound and 14 Mile. I live at Harper and 16 Mile.
Okay.
So it's quite a hike.
All right.
But I went every day, every morning when she said she needed me.
Okay.
Okay? I kept
Would she
track-
call you when she said she needed you, or did you just go?
I just automatically knew to show up the next morning. We had a set time. Now, sometimes it was a little later, a little earlier, but I was there every morning till I could, and then I would leave.
Okay.
And then sometimes she would call me and say her husband's home or someone's home. I don't need to be there that day, but she would call and let me know the night before I'm not needed that day.
All right.
Okay, so I kept track of all my hours. Let's see. 99% of the time I was there in the morning. The reason she needed morning help because her son, was upstairs, was up there. He was usually sleeping because he was up late usually helping her. So I was there in the morning hours, and when I would wake up, when I would leave, Johnny would actually get up at this point and take over the home care help. So I wasn't needed all day. There were times that I was there and I needed to leave to take my youngest daughter to school. Okay, so it was an understanding
Okay.
that we had.
All right. So yeah, you were going to take care of her
I was
when
doing everything
needed.
I could.
Right.
Okay.
Something went wrong somewhere here, right?
Yeah, not
were-
that I was aware of.
Well, you're in
okay?
court, so.
Right. Well, I had a trip planned to Georgia for 4 days, and I told her I had it coming, so she was looking for other help at that point, and she had her sister help her at
Okay,
that point.
all right.
Same agreement she had with her.
But you're here because you're not paid, right?
I have not received
Okay.
anything from her as of this point.
Not one dime, not one penny, nothing.
Nothing.
And that's why you're here today.
This is why I'm here today,
All
correct.
right. Now, you stopped working there on October 10th, right?
Yes, October 10th was my last day of work there.
And why was that? Because you weren't getting paid, or
No, just
or
because
what?
she called me and told me that I was no longer needed, that her sister, my aunt Diane FICA, would take over from
Your
that
other
point
aunt.
on.
Your other aunt.
My other aunt, her sister,
right.
correct.
Did you have anything written, any agreement or anything like that, or is this just verbal?
No, we did not. It was just a verbal agreement.
All right. Now, you kept track of your hours, you said?
Yes, I
Did you have
did.
anything written down showing the hours that you worked and what
Yeah,
you
I
did?
have everything on the calendar.
That's how you kept track of it?
Correct.
You didn't write it on a separate piece of paper, like an invoice or something like that? You just wrote it on your calendar?
No, I didn't. I wrote on my calendar, and at this point on Monday the 11th, I called her with my hours. But she's,
Did you mail the calendar to her or what?
pardon me?
Let me see the calendar.
Sure.
You know, this really isn't a good way to do it, man.
Well, because this is how I kept track of everything. I did everything on it. Everything was so.
Let's see here. This started September, what was it again? September 14th. Aunt Rita, 8 to 10:30. So that
Correct.
was 2.5 hours that day.
Correct.
Looks like the 15th you didn't go at all.
Correct.
September 16th, you got an R,
That's
7
Rita.
to 8:30.
Correct.
Rita, right? So that's an hour and a half, right?
Right.
Okay, 17th, again R, 7:30 to 10 o'clock. That's how you kept track of your hours.
Right. That's how I kept, that's when
You
I know.
didn't keep track of what you did those days, did you? Specifically what you did.
Specifically, what I did was basically the same thing every day until there was certain days where I had to take her a doctor's appointment, and those are noted on those days. I
Okay.
can tell you what days we went to what doctor's office, what we did.
And when you add all this up, it's $1,605?
95.
$95.
Yeah.
Well, this seems like a straightforward contract case. The plaintiff niece took care of her defendant aunt, who was seriously hurt in a car accident. And there seemed to have been an agreement as to the hours and the job duties. And it was in writing, on a cat calendar, but nevertheless a writing. Now, let's see what the defendant says.
What do you have to say, Ms. Grimes, about all this?
What Ann said is true,
Okay?
that we were in a car accident.
We?
My husband, my mom, and I.
She wasn't.
No,
Okay.
Anne Marie wasn't.
Okay.
Okay. My mom was killed instantly.
Okay. When was the accident?
It was on I-75 southbound.
When
just
was it?
North of Waddles Road. It was on August 14th, 2004.
Okay.
As a result of that, I was a near fatal
Okay.
in the accident. I was thrown from the rear window. I had a home care company called Acclaim Health Home Care that was working at my home. And my attorney's office had hired another attorney's office to take care of my medical. So that attorney came out to my home, and the only way we could get the insurance to help start paying my medical bills was to hire home care company, and that was the Acclaim Home Care.